Amusement parks. They're the kingdom of joy, the capital of thrills, a place where screams are of delight, not terror. We line up for hours, eager to be spun, dropped, and flung through the air, trusting implicitly in the engineering that keeps us safe. But what happens when that trust is broken? What happens when the place of our happiest memories becomes the scene of our worst nightmares? Today, we're delving into the chilling reality behind some of the most tragic incidents in amusement park history. These stories are a stark reminder of the thin line between exhilaration and danger. Let's travel back to May 11, 1996, at the Six Flags Great Adventure Park in New Jersey. The Lightning Loops was a popular shuttle loop roller coaster, known for its intense launch and vertical loop. On that fateful day, a 28-year-old park employee was performing routine maintenance near the ride's track. Due to a series of miscommunications and a failure to follow safety lockout procedures, the ride was activated for a test run while he was still in a restricted area. The coaster, accelerating to 50 miles per hour in seconds, struck the employee, resulting in an instantly fatal accident. This heartbreaking incident underscored the critical importance of lockout-tagout safety protocols, a system designed to prevent exactly this kind of tragedy. It's a somber lesson that even behind the scenes, away from the cheering crowds, the potential for danger is ever present, and safety procedures are not just guidelines, they are lifelines. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most infamous and debated cases in amusement park history, Action Park in Vernon, New Jersey. Nicknamed Traction Park and Accident Park by locals, it was notorious for its dangerously designed rides. Among them was the Alpine Slide, a seemingly simple attraction where riders descended a long, winding concrete and fiberglass track on a small sled. The problem? The sleds had notoriously unreliable brakes, and the track's sharp turns frequently sent riders flying off into the surrounding terrain. Many suffered severe abrasions, fractures, and concussions. But the slide's most tragic incident occurred in 1980. A 19-year-old park employee was riding the slide when his sled veered off the track. He was thrown down a steep embankment, his head striking a rock. He succumbed to a severe head injury, marking the park's first fatality. This was not a mechanical failure in the traditional sense, but a fundamental flaw in the ride's design, prioritizing a misplaced sense of extreme thrill over fundamental rider safety. Let's move to a more modern tragedy that sent shockwaves through the industry. In 2016, at the Schlitterbahn Water Park in Kansas City, the world's tallest water slide, Verrückt, became the scene of a horrific event. Verrückt, which means insane in German, was an engineering marvel, dropping riders from a staggering height of over 168 feet at speeds up to 70 miles per hour. On August 7th, 10-year-old Caleb Schwab boarded a raft with two other women. As the raft crested the second, smaller hill on the ride, it went airborne. The raft collided with the overhead netting and metal poles that were part of the ride's safety system. Caleb sustained a fatal neck injury. The subsequent investigation was horrifying. It revealed that the ride's co-owner and designer had rushed the project, skipping fundamental testing and ignoring dire warnings from engineers about the raft's tendency to go airborne. The tragedy of Verrückt wasn't just an accident. It was the predictable outcome of gross negligence and a reckless disregard for human life, leading to criminal charges against the park's executives and a permanent stain on the industry. Another story that highlights how quickly fun can turn to tragedy comes from Six Flags over Georgia. In 2008, the Batman. The ride roller coaster is an iconic inverted coaster, where riders' feet dangle freely beneath the track. On June 28th, a 17-year-old teenager, along with a friend, decided to take a shortcut back into the park by climbing over two 6-foot-high fences to enter a restricted landscaped area directly beneath the coaster's path. Despite numerous signs warning of the danger, they proceeded. As the coaster roared by at over 50 miles per hour, the teenager was struck by the dangling leg of one of the riders and was killed instantly. The rider on the coaster suffered a leg injury. This incident is a harrowing example of guest misconduct. While parks have a responsibility to secure their ride envelopes, this tragedy shows the devastating consequences of ignoring explicit safety warnings and entering clearly marked danger zones. It's a chilling reminder that safety rules are in place for a reason, and bypassing them can have irreversible consequences for everyone involved. Finally, we look at the Mindbender at Galaxyland Amusement Park in Edmonton, Canada, back in 1986. At the time, It was the world's tallest indoor triple-loop roller coaster. On June 14th, the final car of the train derailed as it entered the third and final loop. It fishtailed wildly, throwing off 4 passengers before crashing into a concrete pillar. 3 of the riders died, and the 4th was left critically injured. The investigation revealed a critical maintenance failure. 4 bolts on the wheel assembly of the final car were missing. It was discovered that the ride's manufacturer had issued a recommendation to modify the number and type of bolts used just a few years prior, but these changes hadn't been fully implemented or checked correctly. The park was found guilty of safety violations. The Mindbender eventually reopened with redesigned trains and enhanced safety measures. But the incident remains one of Canada's worst amusement park disasters, a solemn monument to the catastrophic potential of maintenance oversight. From design flaws and operational errors to maintenance oversights and guest misconduct, these stories are deeply sobering. They force us to confront the immense responsibility that rests on the shoulders of park owners, designers, operators, and even the guests themselves. While the amusement park industry has become significantly safer over the decades largely due to the lessons learned from these very tragedies, they serve as a permanent reminder that the pursuit of thrills must always be balanced with an unwavering commitment to safety. The joy of a day at the park depends on it. Thank you so much for joining me on this serious and reflective journey. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into fascinating topics. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.